Hello, hello, everyone.
John Story.
Hey, Koshi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Rodarte?
I'm good. I'm gonna have to log off in about 30 minutes. My daughter has a doctor's appointment. I gotta take her to, so I'm gonna try and make my time. But if not, then I'll just catch up with you guys later.
Okay. Is she okay? Is everything okay?
Oh yeah. It's just a checkup. I just forgot. That was in our family calendar.
Okay, fair. Um, so in that case, let's go ahead and hop on in. Let's get started. Um, Cameron, I do like for a few people to be here when we do these introductions.
Okay.
So just because Rodarte's on a time crunch, and then I think MJ's on a time crunch as well. Actually, I think people are starting to pour in actually right now. Um, hey, Aman. Okay, so in that case, I mean, I think we're good there. Then we have a few people to do this introduction. Um, Guys, we got a new member, Rodarte, MJ, Aman. We've got a new member, so wanted to, as typical in typical fashion, want to give him a warm welcome to Cam. Cam, why don't you go and take it over, man? And so you know the drill. A little bit about yourself. You know what brought you here, what your goals are, and then one question for the guys. And then guys, please listen carefully. I'm going to call on one or multiple guys to answer Cameron's question. But Cam, stage is yours, man.
Yeah. So hi, my name's Cameron. I've kind of fallen into this course in the cert. I think I've spent like $30,000 on courses with the goal of trying to escape from like a 9 to 5. Not in the sense of working those hours, that's the problem, just working for somebody. I'd love to have my own thing. I've always hated school, so that's another reason why I'm drawn to that. The courses, whatever a course seller's market is, I'm probably like the dream person for them to reach because I just love it. I'm so easy to hook when they say the right things, which is just the escape from 9 to 5 and kind of working for yourself, I guess. And then I found that all the other courses that did work, if they did, they didn't really fulfill me. Like ecom was one of them and drop shipping. I had some success, but when I did, I kind of felt like just like a little sleaze bag, kind of like a piece of shit. Just like I get that that's how the world works, like stores buy things for less and sell it for a bit more. But something about it just was like these people are stats on a paper, and then I get a sale, and I'm like, all right, they now have like a piece of junk from China that they paid way too much for, and I'm the face behind it. So this is like the first course that is fulfilling. I can definitely see why it would work for sure. And I also get the fulfillment of talking to people face to face and providing them a service that they can see, not just false promises like a lot of marketing people have. My parents own a company, so I've seen that from like first person how hard it is for a business owner to throw a bunch of money onto something that they were promised and under delivered on. Um, and the fact that this is just like a if it doesn't work, well, there's just something about this course that feels very ethically sound, and I've just been getting so much reassurance from Koshik and everybody on here. It's kind of cool to see your guys' faces because before it's like I see your guys' faces and names in the onboarding call and stuff, and then to see you guys like smiling at me right now live from what I'm saying is cool. And the fact that Koshik was the person who like sends you these voice messages is such like a landslide compared to all the other courses where it's just somebody's assistant or whatever. I was almost thinking it's like Koshik's AI voice, like he's using his AI, like he just recorded his voice or something. But yeah, that alone was super powerful. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in my life where I kind of need to make this work. I have a girlfriend who I want to support, and I want to give her a life that she doesn't need to work if she doesn't want. She loves to work, but I just want to give her the option, and I want to be the person that provides that for her. And this is super exciting in terms of like how I could do that. Yeah, I'm just super excited to kind of get to know you guys and gain a skill set that hopefully shapes me as a diamond, as I've heard that term being thrown around. Yeah, just learn some skills and improve as a person, and hopefully have a service that is worth paying for and more.
Awesome, Cam. Um, Cam, is there a question that you have that's top of mind for you, man? That obviously, I'll always answer you, but like I always like to ask you guys to ask a question where it's like completely unbiased, where you ask a question off the top of your dome, and then the other guys can kind of chime in and kind of answer for you. Did you have anything that you wanted to ask the other guys and kind of get their perspective?
Um, I guess you and I kind of went over it in the onboarding, like just mindset. But something that I think is priceless is just what you guys would have liked to have known or have said to you that maybe wasn't said to you, or something that just helped you in the beginning that you kind of found out by yourself, or yeah, I guess something that you just wish you knew when you started, maybe. It's pretty general and vague, but
Yeah, I think Rodarte is kind of in a place. Rodarte, by the way, he's doing HVAC. Rodarte, this is the guy I told you about, Cam. His parents own an HVAC business. Um,
Got
so
it.
so Rodarte is kind of in like this spot where it forces you to really push and think critically. So I think maybe he can kind of give you his perspective. I think that might be cool. But also like Aman, I saw you kind of nodding your head. Were there some things that maybe you know like do you have any thoughts in terms of Cam's question of like things that you wish somebody maybe have told you at the beginning of your journey?
Um, well, first, welcome, Cam. Really appreciating the energy here with you. And I think, I was nodding my head a lot too with like you're kind of speaking about like, ethically helping people and stuff. And so I'm definitely excited for you to be here because I think, with working with Kashik on like with my clients, one of the biggest things is like, how can we make it the best experience for them? And so like it's really pushed me in terms of like helping people and like, just being in the weeds and not having like an ego when it comes to these things because it really does pay off, in the future to be in the weeds with them and to like help them. So that's one thing. As far as your question about like something that, we wish that we knew, I mean, I would just say like just trust the process. I know that's probably already part of the onboarding, to trust the process, but I really can't stress enough, like just trusting, when Kushik is telling you to do something, a lot of times in the beginning, it doesn't really make sense. Like, okay, if I sell them on this thing, like, how am I going to deliver on it? Questions like that naturally arise. But if some, basically like if he's like, hey, just trust me, like just close them, and then we're gonna go through the next steps after, definitely trust that process and trust that you are able to do it. I think we've all felt at some point that like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna close this client or I don't know if I can do this, and then just sticking with it, asking a lot of questions. When Koshik says ask as many questions, like he definitely means it. So, I would say, yeah, I know it's kind of like a general, I know you've always been told it, but I think, at least hearing it from one of us who's gone as far as we have, we can't stress that enough in terms of just trusting the process and asking a lot of questions.
right, right. Yeah, I think Mason, when I had the call after the onboarding with Mason, he said the same thing. He's like, Koshik says something and you're like, this doesn't make sense. Just it doesn't matter. Just do it and then it'll make sense later. So that's cool
Yeah.
see that literally fine tune repetition of you saying that. I already believe it.
Yeah.
Rodarte, is there something, you're kind of in a unique place where it is kind of like that, which is like you're kind of maybe doing some stuff and you're like unsure exactly why. You see more and more of the light, but like, do you have something you wanted to share with Cam in terms of like you wish somebody may have you wish somebody would have told you something at the beginning of your journey?
Hey, Gam, good to meet you and welcome. I would say for me, the biggest thing I've learned, I guess I've known before starting this course and just like life in general, but it really kind of um, resounded here was just like not it's a you don't have to know every step before you take this before you make a journey, right? So in other words, like I would want everything to be laid out for me and like planned and like know what every step is A to Z before I even start.
Right.
And that's not the way to go about it. Like you just kind of deploy and then get data or whatever and then just kind of like go from there and each step kind of tells you where the next step is you got to take rather.
Right. Right. Jump
That's
before
that's that's the biggest lesson I've learned here.
right. Well, yeah, that's really helpful to know.
Yeah. So, you heard it multiple times, so there's probably some truth to that. Ready, fire, aim. Just go, and then we'll help you navigate through the process. Just trust the process, just go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else, Cam? I want to go ahead and answer over Darte because he's got to get going, but Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of ask or go over before I hop in and help some of these guys out?
Um, I don't think so. No, it's I really appreciate the warm welcomes from you guys. It's really good to see you guys' faces and then hear from you guys from what you guys learned already. I'm just excited. I feel like a bouncy ball kind of. Feel like me talking just won't end. We won't get anywhere. So yeah, I'm just ready to listen and be a sponge for a while here.
Cool. Sounds good. MJ, are you there?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good, man. I just so you got to get going at what time?
Yeah, so in 40 minutes. All right. For this 12. So in about 40 minutes, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah,
So in that case, let me go and help out Rodarte real quick, and then I'll transition to you.
sure thing. No problem. All
Okay.
right, thanks.
Yep. Rodarte, what's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for letting me go first there. Nothing, man, just checking in, nothing has really changed. I'm still waiting on the Go High Level ticket for my funnel steps. They I'm having trouble with the site. Like it's been escalated, so I have a ticket number and my appointment's not till Wednesday. But
Okay.
I've created a lead gen, or I'm in the middle of creating a lead gen form on Facebook just to get something going.
Mhm.
Yeah, so just almost done with that and hopefully launching today.
When you say a lead gen form, are you talking about to get HVAC business owners, or are you talking about running an ad to kind of verify what kind of offer works for them in terms of like their services?
HVAC niche, so getting HVAC owners.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because I can't do anything with the funnel yet because the links aren't the URLs aren't working properly. So I figure I might as well do something. And I didn't expect to wait this long, so that's why I kind of burned a couple days just kind of waiting for Go High Level to fix this. And then they just got back to me yesterday saying, okay, well, we can meet with you as early as Wednesday. And I was like, oh, okay, well, might as well do something.
So is that what the ticket is about? Like obviously you and Mason are dealing with this. Like your
Yeah.
URL, like specific URLs aren't working, domain isn't working, or
Yeah, I can show you what I mean.
yeah, I'll stop sharing. Um, you can share.
Okay. Sorry, where'd it go? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so these have been published. Um, so I'll edit this and just hit publish, just so you can see it. And then if I go back, so this page just started working. They got this page working. It was an original 404 even after publishing.
Mhm.
And then now the discovery call, you'll see it's a calendar here, but when I go to it, it's the same page. And
Hmm.
the same with the thank you page. You see it there, and then it's this page.
That is so weird.
And everything I was editing, so I would like these at first these weren't spaced out, and I ended up spacing these out. And when I would make changes, they would show up. Sorry. When I made changes, it would show up on this page, but only so this was like ofacorns.net/opt-in. That URL originally did not work. I would have to get rid of the opt-in, so it was just ofacorns.net for this to show up with the /opt-in as it was showing. It was giving me a 404, and I didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, so that's where we're at now. Is like they're trying to figure this out.
Okay. So if we go into problem solving mode, I think it's a good I think it's good that you're being proactive in terms of like lead generation and like just like throwing that out there, like lead formats. Another thing is, and again, I'm not saying necessarily to do this. I'm just saying like if you feel like you're sitting on your hands, like part of me was like, oh, I'll just run it on my end. But then I thought about it, I was like, well, is it possible? And again, I'm not saying to do this, but would it be possible to, for example, create another Go High level with another email? You have like the 14 days for free just to get something up and running and run ads to that. Does that make sense? Or like, I don't know if it's a specific thing with your Go High level account or if you can try to create this again with like another domain. So just like throwing stuff out there just to get something up and running.
I mean, I didn't think about that. I guess it's possible,
Yeah.
but I just don't know if it would be worth it. Just because honestly, man, like this took me for Go High level took me so long to learn that like I don't know if like setting this up again, how much time that would take me.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how long something like this takes to set up. So that's why I brought that up. It's like, again, I would say so. Yeah, it's just, um, I would say by Wednesday then. So what else could we do in the meantime, I guess, is my question.
In the meantime, I can fix the ad for it to say how we talked about HVAC installs.
Mhm.
Like doing that and doing the voiceover and editing the video to match the right offer, the winning offer, and then launch a lead gen form, which I was starting to do here.
Yeah.
This is the creative.
Yeah. So yeah, those are a few different things you can do. You can tweak up the creative. You can do this. Have you tested out like ads, like HVAC ads for services?
I have not.
Okay. So you have a handful of things that you can do to keep yourself busy up until Wednesday. And then worst comes to worst on Wednesday, if they have any issues, then we can maybe visit some of those other options that we
Yeah.
spoke. That's kind of what I would do if I were you.
Okay.
Um, what else you got for us?
I mean, nothing. Just send you I send you those screen captures of the HVAC agency ads I came across.
Yeah. You want to
I've noticed like the big name was Grant Cardone. He's starting to do that now for HVAC.
he's running ads for HVAC now?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, you got some competition, bro.
Yeah, man. So that's when I saw him, I thought that was funny and I don't know, just like, oh shit. Well, I guess this is the right space if he's in it.
Yeah, it is. So I guess like I saw that you sent it over. I haven't had a chance to run through them.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't send you the link. Sorry about that. I can go by and like message you the actual links to the ads. I when I send you the links, so you don't see the creative. I think I was wanting you to see the creatives.
um,
Um,
I I think I did. Like I
okay.
skimmed through like the first like 10 seconds. I just haven't had chance. Like one video was like 7 minutes long. The other one was like a minute and a half. What I was looking for from you is for you to kind of like tell me like, okay, Kushik, I see, because you sent me another funnel from another guy like last week, and then you sent me these two agencies. So what I wanted to hear from you is like, okay, what are your thoughts? Like, is there a pattern that you're noticing? Is there like what direction? Like, who do you think you should model? Right? What I was
Yeah,
looking for from you. What do you think? Do you have that or you don't have that like right now?
I don't have that right now,
Okay.
but I did notice that like just looking at most of the ads, like I don't even know if a lead gen form is the way to go because
I don't think it
um
is.
I didn't see many lead forms or lead gen forms. It's just it goes to a funnel.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's when you said you're gonna do a lead gen form, my mind immediately went to that because I was looking at the three different ones. None of them were doing that. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to test it, you can. I don't know it would be the best use of your dollars and time. You might learn something interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of like kind of going back to like what we were discussing, out of those three, like I mean, are you noticing, are they all different offers? Or are you like, what are the three different offers? Or do you not have that right now?
Um, I can kind of see it. I guess. Hang on 1 second. I don't have that with me right now, actually. I mean, it'll take me a while to go through it or to remember it. I sent it to you, right? To you and Mason. There we go.
Yep. So what we can
Well,
do,
not all of them were.
they're all different offers from what I saw.
Yeah, they're not. There's not one offer. Like the one we went over last time was the HVAC installs. All right, every 30 days you get like 7 to 20 HVAC installs. Some of these were just like mine, like were leads. Like one was like 30, 60, even 90 leads in a month, where I'm saying 100.
So one is installs, one is for a certain number of leads. And what was the third one, if you had to guess?
uh, this guy will pay for the first month ad spend.
I saw that one. But like, what is he saying? Like, hey, I'm going to pay for the first month of ad spend so you can test out our system. And once you test out our system, you'll see that what we can do is we can get you 30 leads in 90 days. Like, what is the end result that he's offering people? Like, what is the main thing that he's giving them? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
installs, is it leads?
It's leads. That one is just leads.
Okay, great. So what we have here is we have installs as the first one, and then we have the second one, which is leads, and the third one is leads. So we've got a pattern here. 2 out of 3 is leads.
Yeah.
And that's something to consider. Cam, what would you want? Your mom and your dad, what would you guys want? Like what kind of an offer would get you guys buzzing and super excited for you guys to click and then want to have a conversation with Rodarte? Would it be something like installs? Would it be like leads? Like what is something that you guys feel like
Well, it's super seasonal. So right now it's AC for sure. Like push AC big time. Like AC would be number one for sure.
AC installs?
Yeah, because like right now, well, where I live is Edmonton, Alberta. So right now we're in a heat wave for the next 2 weeks. So everyone's freaking out. Like I'm starfishing in my bed, sweating. I don't have AC. So my dad's just getting calls over and over again about AC installs. Yeah, ACs. Aside from that, leads probably 24/7. There's always slow seasons and busy seasons. And then my parents' HVAC company does like furnace cleaning, hot water tanks. Like they have a bunch of varieties. Like for example, furnace cleaning dies out during the winter time because nobody wants to have their doors open. That's what you have to do, and the cold air gets sucked into the house. People just don't do it, and they like to get their furnaces cleaned before they use it all the time in winter. So there's steep patterns. But right now, AC is what I'd push, like almost all the budget. I'd say if I could guess what my parents would say, that's what they would be wanting.
Why would you why would you say that? Other than like I understand the logic of like, hey, AC is like what everybody wants because it's super hot. What makes you like if you were step into the shoes of Rodarte, like why would you do that if if a lot of HVAC business owners are getting AC installs right now, then that there's not really a demand for that because it's like, oh, my phone's blowing up. I don't really need somebody's help. I don't need Rodarte's help with AC installs because I got my phone blowing up with AC installs right now.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
The point, usually the point of the ad is to like, you're like, fuck, dude, I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. Oh my God, this ad is perfect. You know what I mean? Like you're like, remember how you felt when you watched that one video I sent you? You're like, holy shit, this solves all my problems. And you're in pain. You want to solve that problem. So what is a pain point that like frustrates your parents a lot, maybe? Like, is there something that frustrates them year round that when they see an ad, they'd be like, yes, I would click on that?
Uh, I think just leads because, like I said, it's so seasonal. Their thing that they would want to put ads out for would change season to season. Um, like you said, AC, it's so hot right now, they wouldn't need ads for it. But they might want ads to win them over. If someone was going to go with someone else, they would see a better deal on AC that they already wanted to get anyways. So in that sense, it could be valuable. But yeah, they don't really have to work right now in terms of getting leads for AC specifically when it's a heat wave. Or when it's a cold snap, they wouldn't need to put ads out for a furnace, but it could help to distract them, a potential customer from going to somebody else if they saw a better deal.
What 2 more questions. that marketing agency that worked with your parents, do you remember what they were offering your parents? Like, do you remember?
I don't. I was not really in it for that. I was kind of just the guy who was making the commercial that they asked for. But the commercial was for ACs, and ideally, you want to put out the ads before it gets hot to kind of plant it in their heads. At least that's what I heard from them. Yeah, like as soon as the snow's starting to melt, you almost want it because then you can put out a deal like get a cheaper deal before the hot snap hits. I don't know.
So what I'm kind of hearing is like during the winter times or when it's a little bit colder, either business is slow or it's like, hey, I know you're maybe freaking out a little bit. Let's either help you through the winter time or maybe it's like, hey, let's get you good and ready by the time summer rolls around.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Last question. What service has like the highest profit margin that's like the easiest to deliver upon?
Uh, Furnace cleaning for sure. I think I'm not sure. I guess yeah, furnace cleaning for sure. At least in my parents' business because you go in there with a truck, you don't leave anything behind. It's just you pay for gas and maintenance on the truck, pretty much. But like after you buy the truck, obviously.
I guess my
Yeah,
question.
furnace cleaning for sure.
Yeah. So I think you already answered it, but my question is coming from a place of like, we all have had like those video jobs where like you got to go out there, you got to fly out there, camera, lights, a whole bunch of stuff versus you've been hired like $500 to shoot like a 1 hour video. You go there, shoot, and then you bounce, you give the footage to them, which is like, oh my God, such an amazing deal. Is that what furnace cleaning is for you guys? Or is there,
Yeah, I would say so for sure. It's so profitable because you can upsell once you're there. It's not really the furnace cleaning. I think the furnace cleaning, the base of just the ducts and cleaning the furnace with no add-ons is like $200. But then once you get there, you say your bathroom fan's gonna break or it has potential to break. If you don't clean it, here's what it looks like. And I'm like, holy shit, I've never even looked up there. Like you don't take a shit and look up. I'm showing you a picture of what it looks like, and this is how they break. So once you get there, you upsell a lot. So you can turn like a $200 bill to 2,000, like I've done it, and there's no up costs that are coming out of your pocket, other than like maybe a humidifier pad that you have to bring off the truck. But there's nothing that really comes off the truck. It's just an air compressor, and it's been a while since I've done it, but yeah, it's so profitable once you're in there.
so Rodarte, I hope you're like taking some notes, man. Like that's
Yeah.
the gold that we just got from Cam right there. Like that right there tells me a few things. I know for sure if I were maybe in your shoes, I would focus a lot on leads. So we saw 2 out of 3 people pushing leads in their ads as opposed to installs. So that gives us like, hey, this is the kind of language that might work. Are you frozen? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, there you are. Another thing is like I would sit there, I would think about furnace cleaning. I'd be like, hey, are you somebody that wants to sell more? Firstly, you and I both know that is the easiest, most profitable way to scale up your business right now with the least amount of operational drag, and you can do a ton of upsells. And what we've done is we specialized getting furnace cleaning, getting your calendar packed with those. So like that sounds extremely sexy. That's like the ideal thing that they want. So there's maybe 2 different ad angles. There's one for like leads, and maybe there's a funnel so maybe there's an ad that goes to funnel. It's all about leads, right? So one machine for that, and another ad and another machine specifically for furnace cleaning. And you basically test them both and see what gets you the most book calls. That's literally like, Selena, there's this one girl that Aman and I are talking about. She like all she does, she runs out to, hey, are you somebody that does body contouring? If you're somebody that does body contouring, we're gonna get you 30 new leads in 20 days or whatever. So she specifically focused on a service just like I'm talking about right now. So she had a ton of people hop in for that, and she's really good at getting them those kinds of their counter book for that service.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
yeah,
great.
man.
Thanks, Cam.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully that was helpful.
Definitely.
Thanks for that, Coach Nick. I gotta hop off. My wife's waiting for me to we gotta get going.
Okay, cool. Keep us posted on Slack, okay?
Yeah, I'll see you guys. Thank you.
Good meeting you.
Mr. MJ, what's going on, brother, man?
Hi, going good. And you guys?
The world did not blow up. The sun did not blow up. Everything's okay. You're okay.
Yeah, so it's not, don't count the chickens yet. It might happen. It might blow up today.
What happened today? What's going on?
Not much. I'll just give a bit of recap over the last 3 days, I guess. So I had launched the SMS campaign for the client, and I had maybe like 5 people that were interested in the offer. that I launched, and then only one person, one of the five, actually said yes to it. And I was trying to, hop on a call with them today or this week. I haven't been able to. I've been trying to follow up with that lead. But I haven't been able to actually get them on a call or even get a response since they said yes, so that I can, collect the deposit for the client and, book them into the establishment. But the SMS campaigns are still rolling out. I think I sent maybe 16 today, rolled out. I trickled back the amount that I had initially when I sent on our group chat with Mason and you guys. So I trickled it back to like maybe I think it's now 16 today that just went out, just so that I don't get blocked on the number or anything like that, because I don't have A2P verification yet. And I'll process that out, later at some point, because I think I had a failed verification this week. So I'm still working through that. And then we also launched the paid ad campaign for the laser hair removal. So that's also going on. And I think maybe I've had like 4 leads. I kind of screwed up the first 2 leads that came because I actually wasn't targeting their location. So people that came in were like completely different places, which was wild because someone like called had mentioned that they were out of somewhere else. I'm like, shoot, what am I doing on the ads? So I run to go check the ads and I'm like, darn, I've already had them spend $20 and it's not the bright people that are coming in. So I tried to fix that. And I got on a call with one lead that came in today. I really botched that conversation because I think they were asking me something that I had no idea how to explain that service to them. So that happened, and so I had to hop on a call with the business owner today, and him kind of like educating me through, how he would hope that I can sell the services that he has, because I wasn't sure about what that product was. So I was trying to get more clarity on it so that I know how to deal with that better. I did realize that what ended up happening was the ad that I actually am running for the laser hair removal is not actually laser hair removal. So I think that's where the issue stemmed from. So I have to change that ad out. I have to go find a complete different video to put it back in there, because the person that came in was asking about, it wasn't laser hair removal that they were asking for. It was something else, and I didn't know what that was. So I told them, I was like, okay, I will get them to give her a call again to be able to explain that service that they're requesting for on that point. So I'll try and fix that by the end of today. But yeah, I haven't gotten any results yet, is essentially in summary. So this is kind of like how the remaining 3 days has kind of gone. I don't know. I'm trying to gauge where they are at. I know there was excitement at the top initially at the beginning, and I feel like they're still sort of okay. But anyways, that's a recap on my end, just in terms of how things are going so far. Yeah.
You said they were interested, or I'm sorry, excited. They were excited at what point? Like what happened to cause the excitement? Like
Oh,
it
like
was
when the SMS campaign had gone out and somebody had said yes to the offer, like on Friday, we got on a call. Like he called me and I was like, yeah, it looks like it's working. He was, kind of like excited, right? But today when we spoke, he was just, catching up on like what's happened with the leads. Is anybody, closed and all that, right? But nobody has closed yet, right? So that's where I'm sort of feeling like we're high on Friday, but nothing's gonna happen yet. But it kind of still feels like it's okay. It still feels like, yeah, I'm happy that things are working, but in my mind, I'm like, nothing's working. So yeah. Um, that's that.
so that one person that did respond, obviously he sees the SMS campaign, he can see that person respond, and he most likely and obviously like he understands you're responsible for following with the person. He's like, oh, MJ just hasn't closed that person yet, but we do have an interested person. How many people would you say like you've messaged so far, like approximately? And these are leads or these are previous customers?
The SMS is the previous database. I have messaged, I think 86, 86 so far.
So these are previous customers, 86 people, 5 have responded, 1 said yes.
Yes.
Okay. So those aren't bad numbers at all. I think that's pretty average. 85, 5, 1. Okay. And so in terms of ads, you got 4 leads coming in, 2 of them for a different location. Okay.
Yeah.
And you spent $20. And how much do you have total in terms of budget?
I'm 25 a day on budget with them right now. Is what the ad spend is. And I've spent how much so far? Total 54.98.
How much do you have left? So 54.98, I would assume you have about 5 days left. That's about what, 250?
Yeah, I guess so. Hold on.
Okay.
I haven't made that calculation yet.
Okay.
Yeah, about 100 to 5 days from 20, about 125, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So overall, like I guess what are your questions right now? I do have like additional follow-up question I can ask you, but like what are maybe questions that you have or thoughts that you have? Anything that you wanted to say for us to kind of maybe give you some insight or clarity or anything like that.
I don't know that I had like, I think the only question that came to my mind was just, and I think we can still even drill down on this like in the chats, is just what happens for me on the Friday and just what my messaging is when I hop on that call, like what I'm doing to be able to get things, switch over to like a paid in full, like basically how I handle any kind of objections or basically how I navigate that call essentially, right? Um, but aside from that, I'm still just doing right now what I can with them, right? Sending all the SMSs, sending any text messaging that I need to do with any leads that show up. I will fix the problem with the ads because I wasn't running the right thing that they wanted me to run. So I'll definitely do that. And ultimately also work on my sales with the leads that come in too. Because that I don't know if anyone else can teach me that. I have to just kind of learn it as I'm going. So I had the initial script that Graydon, from the free stuff we had. But I'm just like making tweaks and changes because I knew that the one that I had today was kind of like a bomb and I did feel scripted, right? Obviously, I definitely felt scripted. So I need to finesse that. I need to massage myself into how to actually make this work in this context of what I'm trying to do for these people, for these products, and also be able to know what to do when I'm stumped when I can't answer something. So at least I know now to be able to point the lead to being like to sing using language and saying that, yeah, I will get in touch with our medical director to be able to reach out to you for this particular thing that maybe I can't answer. Right. I didn't know what my safety net was. Sometimes so that's why I flopped too, because I didn't know what my safety net was. So I was still trying to I was still trying to get them booked in when I know that like this is what they're trying to learn about. And I didn't know how to navigate that situation. Right. So I'll keep tweaking that. I'll keep learning what I can do there and just hopefully get that going better, I think. But yeah, any words of wisdom and any, thoughts overall, I just welcome.
I don't think so. I think you said something, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think one thing you said was if you don't know, have particular answers, you're gonna go to is having the med spa business owner or somebody from there have a conversation with them to educate them and get them in through the door. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I I don't know. I feel like when it comes to these kinds of leads, you have them right then and there, and that's kind of your opportunity.
Yes.
And so, it's kind of, you're being forced to learn at a rapid pace. And so it's like, okay, what kind of systems can you build or what can you do in the meantime? Have a conversation, write everything down, do some chat GPT stuff, like go overboard and then, be ready to answer these calls and then, kind of finagle around to get them scheduled in and have,
Mhm.
and just to get them scheduled and then say like, hey, the business owner will explain this to you. We actually have a video, da 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 da. So you kind of put it off your plate but you have to get them booked in. That's, I think my logic is that's what I
Yeah,
would do.
yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. That
So
makes
do
sense.
whatever you need to do just to get the card details, just to get them on
Yeah.
because that they're not, it's going to be hard to get them back again.
Yeah.
So that's that. You said something along the lines of, I think the main question you asked me was like, how do you navigate the conversation on Friday? So it's not necessarily the conversation on Friday, it's everything holistically. So it's what you said on, your sales call, it's what you said on your onboarding, it's all the expectation that you've set. It flows together, right? So based off of just me saying that, like, what do you think you should do?
Yeah, I think Because I know
What-
you had two suggestions initially was either like I send a Loom video or I should actually have an in-person call. I'm thinking I'd do the Zoom call. As a matter of fact, I think I had it booked out, but I have to actually reschedule it because we launched a little later. So I think I'm gonna have like the in-person call, and I don't know, just kind of like run through, the sheets, like just be everything that has transpired, right? Like, how many people like we messaged, put out numbers and what's happened. Hopefully I actually get to get something booked in at that point, because then that probably gives me a stronger like, okay, so this is what we do. We have one person booked in and all that, and then now we can continue working together. I'll find that language because I know you probably have used it for us in the past as well. So nothing changes. We pay the full amount and we continue working together, and nothing changes, and we just keep going. Um, yeah, and just figure out how I, you know, coin that with them, and then see where we can go from there.
What do you think you should do in terms of touch points over the next few days before that call?
Keep giving them updates and also reminding them about the meeting, I guess. I don't know if maybe I do that if like maybe 2 days before the meeting, but the rest of the week, keep giving them updates as I can, which I kind of have been doing so far. Like when the ads launch, I let them know that it launched, let them know how many people we have in the pipeline right now that are interested in the SMS campaign that we have. So I've been giving some touch points as I go, and so I will continue to do that. And then one of the days within this week, just remind about the meeting on Friday, coming up, and yeah, that's what I think I should continue doing.
Yeah. So so definitely you're right. Definitely normal touch points, right? So at the end of day reports or at the very beginning of the next day, you say, hey, John, these are the end of day reports from yesterday. This is what we've seen so far, right? Something like that. So some kind of organization. So instead of like randomly sporadic, like try to have like at the end of each day or at the beginning of each day from previous. So something like that. Definitely about 2 days before, remind them, hey, John, having this call on this day. If you need to move the call out, it sounds like maybe you do need to because of how you launched it, then I would probably do that sooner. Actually, I would maybe do that, yeah, a little bit later because let's see if we can get another hype moment, another high moment. If we get another high moment, then that would be an ideal time. Get there excited. It's like perfect, great. Also, so let's say you get a high moment like today. He reaches out to you, have a conversation. Yeah, da 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 da. Also, John, I'm moving our call out another day just to again give us a full 7 days. Does this work for you? So that would be a good time to move it. It wouldn't be a good time to move it just randomly. Because it's like if he's on a high, then he wants to have a conversation with you and he's willing to move it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another thing is a Loom video before the call is crucial. That's the one thing I was hoping to hear from you.
Okay.
That's the big thing. In my experience, whenever I do a trial, I always at the end, so if you consider my Loom video to you, I know it's been, 4 months or so, but I sent you at the end of the Loom video, I said, here's what to expect on our Zoom call.
Yeah.
So here's what they expect on the end of the Zoom call, and only show up to Zoom call if da 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 da. So the same thing applies. So basically, it's like, hey, John, in this quick video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap the last 7 days. And so in total, what we did is we sent out this many SMS, we got this many responses, we got this many yeses. In terms of the ad spend, here's how much we spent, here's the number of leads that we got in through, and then number of people that we got in through the door. And then here's the thing, you have to future pace.
Okay.
That's a big part of it. So let's say, for example, let's say I get 10 leads and I get 0 closes. So what I might say to a business owner at the end of it, so my fingers are crossed that I get a close, but it's a Hail Mary. And so at the end of in the Loom video, what I would say is, hey, so John, what we have is we have 10 leads here. In my experience, out of every 10 leads, 1 is a qualified lead, and it's a 20% close rate. So in other words, so what we have here is 10 leads. If we have a total of 100 leads, what we can expect typically is 2 closes out of those 100 leads. So that's what the expectation would be in the future. So 1 out of 10 is qualified, and that's why out of the 10 leads that we got you, this is the hot lead. Does that make sense in terms of
Yeah.
the verb? languaging.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm future pacing. So best case is win. Second best case is you tell them this is normal. If we extrapolate the data, here's what would occur.
Okay.
So that's the key. Maybe what I should have just said, extrapolate the data into the future, extrapolate the data into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, just hop on that Zoom call. And the Zoom call is really about just kind of painting a vision for the future. That's a big part of it. It's like, hey, here's where we are. As you can see, the leads have started pouring in. As you can see, the SMS works. It's just a numbers game. And that's another big thing that you might want to keep in mind is it's a numbers game. Hey, it's the strategy has been proven, right? We launched the ad, we launched the funnel, whatever. It worked. It did its job. It's just a numbers game. And then in terms of SMS, hey, the strategy worked. It's bringing people in. It's just a numbers game. So you already have proof of concept. It's really just about you delivering it, being confident in it, right? Like it worked. It's worked. Everything.
Yeah.
When you say it's not working, it's actually working, and it's just a numbers game for you.
Yeah.
It's just sooner or later the numbers working. Now there's more advanced stuff down the road in terms of making the numbers work. That's some of the stuff that me and Aman are working on in terms of memberships and all this other stuff, and you'll get there when you're ready. But yeah, everything. I mean, yeah, just extrapolate the data. Everything is looking fine to me. I don't see any red flags. Does this help a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that I have this, so I'll rewatch it again once the recording is done. So I will definitely be using this quite a bit.
What else do you have in terms of questions or stuff that we can give you feedback on or any wisdom?
Yeah, so far so good. I remember that I think I'm supposed to get back to you with a discovery call. I think I have one now that I would send over for review. Aside from that, yeah, I think I'm okay.
Why this particular discovery call?
Well, first, the week is over. And secondly, yeah, I think I've probably utilized everything I feel like I know so far. So I want to just hit past whatever roadblock now that I'm just experiencing.
How
Yeah.
many, what number of discovery calls is for you? Is this like your 5th, your 7th, your 10th?
Let me check. This would be my, just waiting for it to load. It's my folders. Oh. Okay, this would be my 8th.
Okay.
Number
Out
8.
of those eight, how many agreed to a sales call?
I had, let me look at my data here. I believe I've had maybe 4 or 5.
4 or
But
5 agreed.
it might be 4, but yeah, I think I had 4 that had agreed to a sales call. Let me just check my numbers here.
Aman, what's your conversion rate in terms of getting yeses for your discovery call? Do you approximately, do you know?
Okay. For discovery to sales call,
Agreeing, not live sales calls, but agreeing to a sales call.
agreeing. Let me pull up my numbers real quick.
Looks like
Yeah, 5.
I mean, 5 out of how many?
out of 8.
5 out of 8.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, mine maybe just like getting yeses, maybe slightly higher, but show up is a different.
Yeah, show up is completed.
You can get anyone to agree to anything on a discovery. Let's see, booked sales calls. Yeah, I mean, I had like June was like 6 out of 10. May was 3 out of 4. March was 2 out of 4. So yeah, I mean, February was 14 out of 18. So, I think those are good numbers.
So it sounds like 4 out of 2, 4 out of 3. So it's about 50% of people, 50% of your discovery calls are agreeing to a sales call.
Yeah, last month was 10 out of 17. Wait, yeah, 10 out. Sorry, that's wrong. Book sales calls was 3 out of 4 for May, and then 6 out of 10 for June. And then I have to see, I have to update this month's numbers.
What percentage of people would you say show up to the sales call?
Mm, I'd say like half maybe. Um,
Okay.
let's see. And I feel like my discovery call in general needs a lot of work. So I think my sales calls are pretty decent, but my discovery, let me see, live sales calls. So last month it was 4 out of 6. Um May was like 0 out of 3. I don't know why that was the case. I don't remember having 0 sales calls in May. April was 1 out of 1, 2 out of 2 in March, 9 out of 14 in February. But that was like all the way in February. So um
Okay. So yeah, MJ, your numbers aren't like jumping out in terms of like being red flags or anything if we're kind of like comparing, Almond's numbers across the board.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
pretty healthy. So yeah, send that over. Let me know and I'll have a
Yeah.
look. Discovery call and
Sure.
rip it apart and give you like 50 million comments on it. No
Yes.
joke.
Yes, for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
what else, MJ?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
How are you feeling? I know you were again a nervous wreck. You're shaking like a leaf on a tree.
I keep, it's still a cycle, really. It's just never, and I feel maybe today is gonna let off. It just doesn't. Like I think today, all through today, I felt like someone was just pressing my chest and wouldn't let me go. It just felt like I had this like huge, 10-pound dumbbell just sitting on my chest and won't let it go. So some days are better than others, but it's always like that. It's always up and down.
If you
So,
were to if you were to have to repeat the process with somebody else, the exact same thing that you're doing with him, do you think that would be easier or harder or the same?
like taking on a new client.
So let's say you had a conversation with somebody else, he wanted to do a trial, same thing
Oh,
that this guy. How do you think that you would feel the same way as you're feeling right now, or do you think that you would be less anxious or
yeah, I'll be way more confident. Yeah,
there
way
you
more. And yeah, absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
that's all you needed to hit yourself say. So it's worth it. You're winning.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Worth it for sure.
Worth it for sure. Good. Good. Um, anything else, MJ?
No, I think I'm okay. I think
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep us posted. Let us know how your call goes.
Mhm.
And yeah, just keep me posted daily through the whole trial.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Take care. Welcome, Cam. Nice to have you. All
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
right. Yeah, for sure. Take care, guys. Thanks.
But
All right. So who do we have next? Okay, Aman. What's going on, man?
so um
Chilling, bro.
chilling. Cam, one thing I thought about when you said if this one like was one thing I would want to know, you know, like one thing you wish you knew, or one thing we wish you knew is I remember the first coaching call I went on, I just felt so lost the entire time because I'm like, what are these people even talking about? And I don't know if you feel like that at all, but I definitely felt like that. And yeah, things get more context as the more you kind of keep showing up.
yeah, this time it was kind of like I'm just gonna I'm just gonna sit here regardless. But yeah, you guys are speaking English, but after that, it's like it's going somewhere. It's going over my head. But I'm excited
Yeah.
to figure out what that means. I'm excited to break it down and learn the
Yeah,
language almost literally at this point.
yeah, you will for sure. But yeah, Kaushik, for me, let me see what I wrote down. I had a call, it was kind of cool. I had a call with Karen today, and she was taking the call from the front desk, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, one moment, the phone's ringing." I was like, "Okay, no worries." And she was like on the call. I'm like just kind of doing other stuff, and then she was like, "Yeah, that was your lead," and she was like, "They're just confirming the appointment," and then we're like talking for a little bit, and then she was like looking over, and she was like, "Your lead is here." So that
Awesome.
was pretty cool.
So
Yeah. I
that's
was
dope.
like, I wonder if I can turn that into like an ad in some way, you know?
You probably could. You recorded it, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's so funny. I'm sure you can make something comedic out of that.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I talked to her about setting up a page of like a calendar. Since I'm kind of trying to move everything towards like a funnel anyway. And was basically like she like agreed for me for those leads who book on a calendar, where I can take on those calls. And she was like, yeah, anything you need, just like let me know, like whatever you say, like I trust. So at least if I build out a calendar, put like maybe do a different ad set and maybe like a budget towards that, and then I can kind of like figure that out. So that way I can see, how to get them on a call. If they book on the calendar ahead of time, similar how I do to my clients, and then I can kind of pass that learning, and then too, I can actually get on the phone with those people and start going through the scripts. One thing really cool, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the voice memo I sent of the Selena. So that was really cool. She also opted into one of Graydon Ursul's like med spas thing. And it was like one of like the ones he's running on his account. And usually, he has the AI stuff that he pushes. But what was cool is that she booked on it, and then she booked a call on the calendar. And basically, it was kind of like the way I was thinking, where someone texts like, "Hey, before a call, just wanted to see like, what is a big concern that you have?" And then she replied, and it's like, "Great, like, I'm really looking forward to talking to you because we're gonna go over that together." And I was like, interesting that she didn't get the AI from him, but I'm thinking kind of the way I was thinking, where it's like they can book on a calendar, and then those who don't book on the calendar but they opted in, maybe they get the AI or something. Um, so yeah,
So
that's just like
so you're saying that it was a manual person that had it was an actual human that had a conversation with her? Is that what you're saying?
it seemed
For
like it. Basically she like there was like the opt-in page and then the calendar page. And then when she booked on the calendar, I think rather than the AI talking to her, it was just like someone that confirmed it. But I'm sure if she didn't book on the calendar, then maybe like an AI would get sent out, which is kind of what I was thinking of doing.
that makes sense.
Um, yeah, so like I think that's gonna be really cool to test out, is like booking people's phones on like a calendar, and then whoever, books, I could just message them like, hey, like is this so and so? What kind of like have you tried anything like this before? And then hey, if you have some free time, I can call you right now.
Gotcha. So is that kind of what you're thinking in terms of semi-glutide, add calendar, and then have a conversation before actually hopping on a call? Is that kind of what you're getting at, or?
Yeah, what I'm thinking is add and then opt-in page, and then calendar, and then having that conversation, and then basically whoever from what I've seen, the two other times I've tested, is that half the people tend to book on the calendar and then half the people don't. And so for the people that don't, I'm thinking maybe getting the AI just to have a conversation with them. And then for the people who do book, I'll be like, automated message, hey, thanks for booking a time to go over this. Is this is blank correct? Like, is Murray correct? They'll say yes. Maybe they'll get an automated message that's like, awesome, thanks for confirming. Have you tried any kind of Botox before? They'll say no. And then I'll be like, great, well, our first call is just gonna be a quick like 5-minute call just to, confirm and get you booked. If you have some time before then, I can go ahead and give you that call. And so that's kind of like what I'm thinking of.
Is this a normal conversation or is this AI that's doing this?
I would probably send that last text just because of my availability wise, right? So like if someone is if I want to talk to him at that time slot, I could be like, perfect. Or I'm thinking like two types of messages. One is where I try to get them earlier, and then one where I'm just confirming that call. So if I want to just confirm that call, I could just say, perfect, our first chat will be then. I'm looking forward to speaking to you. But if I do have time ahead, I'll just like adjust that message. So it's like, perfect, I have some time right now, or I have some time in like 2 hours. Would you like to me give you a call then? So that's kind of where the um
So basically they opt whether somebody so if somebody does not book on the calendar, they get the AI, and the purpose of the AI is to get them booked into a calendar. What is the purpose of the AI?
yeah, the purpose of the AI is just to get them to get interest in booking a call, since it's almost like the people that leaked just trying to engage them, and it'll probably take a little bit longer because they didn't trust it enough to book on the calendar. So the AI can have like a bit of a longer conversation and then push towards, um, you know, like speaking. Maybe I can even have the AI push like the link again at the end and be like, perfect, like, if what we recommend is, if you're interested in moving forward, we do have all our people like, get on a call with us. I don't know if it'd be too much for them to send a link. Like, I don't know if that's gonna cause drop off or if I should just like right there and then be like, does morning or evenings work for you? They'll say mornings, and then I could just step in.
Gotcha. So basically two routes. This route is they go through it appropriately, add opt-in, calendar page, AI has a conversation, and you basically figure out a good time, if possible, phone call, kill all objections, all that stuff, da da da. This route is add, opt-in, they don't book in the calendar, so they get the AI conversation. We bypass the calendar to have that conversation.
Right.
I see what you're saying. That makes actually more sense. You don't want to, there's no point in putting an additional step in there once we have that conversation going with them. That makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, they set that up.
When you're talking about Selena stuff, I listened to it, but can you give me a little bit more context of like what you meant in terms of like, hey, Kushi, this is what you said and it's what happened? Because I remember Selena stuff is add, maybe as an opt-in, calendar, page to pay, thank you. So
Yeah, it was.
go ahead.
Yeah, basically what happened was, yeah, it was like an opt-in, and then the calendar was for the actual appointment, and then they book for that, and then you could pay the deposit on the next page, and then if you don't, then someone reaches out and they try to call you, and so that was what that conversation was.
So she did not actually pay for it, and that's why there was a person that had a conversation. And then what happened? And then yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So was it like, was your comment on that based on what I was saying about like, hey, this is what you mentioned about?
So basically, my guess, and this is what maybe you're trying to get across to me. So like somebody comes in, they don't actually pay. So somebody from the office has a conversation with them and explains, and they're trying to get them to pay the deposit on that call, or like this, or what are they?
I didn't get to the end of that conversation. I just kind of sent it right away. I have to see if I believe they would try to collect that deposit directly on the phone, because if they're trying to collect on the website, then I'm sure they're collecting on the thing. I think the main thing I saw there, which was really cool, was the fact that she was saying like, yeah, like most people, like basically to get the best results, we see people who take 3 to 5 times who do this. Yeah.
So
And
basically,
then,
okay, so somebody goes all the way through the funnel. If we look at your case parallel, somebody goes all the way through the funnel. Ideal case is add, opt-in page, calendar to do the actual service, page to pay a deposit, thank you page. Somebody has a conversation, talks to him, hey, da 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 da, I'm so excited for you to come in, da da da. Also, just so you know, this is for one treatment and blah blah blah. Here's what you should be looking forward to. Again, getting them prepared to buy the pick package. That's the first case. Second case is your case with your girlfriend. Add, opt-in, calendar page, do not pay a deposit. Somebody comes in there, tries to get the deposit, obviously, and they're up telling them, hey, you need this additional services. So yeah, it's basically what we're talking, which is like priming them, selling them on being sold.
yeah.
That's
And
okay.
I feel like semaglutide just naturally happens like that because, everyone's gonna ask, okay, well, what about after the first shot? Like that's where their mind goes. But if you're coming for a hydrofacial, you're thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna get a hydrofacial, it'll be nice, right? So I feel like it's like something like the client's like, intuition or knee-jerk reaction is just to get them booked in for that. Whereas the semaglutide, I think naturally she's bringing up the price because, people are already wondering about that. Like people already kind of know with weight loss, it's not going to be a one-shot thing.
So, so I guess like, are you? I guess what I'm trying to understand, like the last sentence that you just said is like, are you? What you're saying right now is that this is why Karen basically does what that person did with your girlfriend. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I think like she almost has to like naturally do that. And it's worked out, but I think that's kind of like what we realize now. We're like, okay, maybe like this is how we have to apply it for the other services where we're gonna have to really sell the entire journey and then from there, like just be like, yeah, but what we'll do is get you in for this first treatment and then we can, take it from there.
100%, man. Like that's the big part I've seen of selling high ticket is it's you got to prepare them for that high ticket thing. And there has to be proper lubrication, proper warming it up, proper a lot of nurturing has to go into that, or else like somebody has to like I feel like what's happening so far is like people are paying for the thing and it's like it feels abrupt to them. Like, oh shit, I have to buy more stuff. I was not expecting this at all. So they're like so turned on. Like they're not even thinking about spending more money. Versus what you have to do is you have to get people in and get them already expecting that they're going to be paying for more stuff.
Right.
Like literally on my Loom videos, the one I sent Cam, like basically that, I sent all to all these guys, like, hey, show up to call if da da da. One line I always use, I really like it is like, hey, it's 40, here's what you paid, $47. Here's what you want. You want 10 grand a month for the next 12 months, for the next 5 years. There's no investment that's going to bridge the gap from $47 to 500,000. The only thing that's going to bridge the gap is coaching, consulting, mentorship. I'm literally telling them, hey, like you need this thing, and then I'm like leading them into it. So there's a lot of stuff that's being done to the point where it's like everybody knows when they show up to the call, it's like they have to buy more stuff. That's the whole purpose of it. And they're ready for it. They're not only do they know, but it's also like they're salivating for that thing. They're salivating for like, okay, I'm interested. I actually want to learn. So that's really what I've been drilling, the past like, week or so is that like we need to put that in and that will allow the lubrication that I mean, I don't know why I keep saying lubrication, but like that's what will allow it to be a sell, high ticket sale.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Yeah. I
Did
feel like it was nice confirmation from that call.
for sure.
I forgot what else. I mean, I feel like on that call, she didn't really ask like, oh, what kind of skin issues have you been having? So I think that's one advantage we have where we can just like, get to the root of the problem first. She seemed to just kind of go right into like what the, course offer was. But again, it's still like very helpful, like when how they explained it and
You have Karen's calls where we can study and see what she's saying for semaglutide of like I'm curious to see kind of what she's saying on that first initial call.
yeah, she says a lot of valuable things in there too. So how she frames it and stuff. So I'll put that all in a drive and then maybe even like try to timestamp like useful things that I've seen.
I think I mentioned this a few times, just typing this just to type it. Karen's setter calls where she warms with them up to okay. What else is going on, man? What else did you like? What are some things that you wanted to discuss specifically, like in solving problems here?
Let me see. I think I mentioned something. Go over calls if needed. We'll go over on Facebook. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm gonna start setting all my clients' pages as like as a lead form page. And have a very like simple page, kind of like does exactly what Facebook lead form would do. But then, maybe have like a photo of their staff in there and then like, have like a basic template, but mostly spend our energy on the back end stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna actually be building out the
Can you def
ad for
can you define that what because you said it a few times. Can you define what you mean by like put most of our energy into the back? I would assume that you mean like the nurturing script and content and all that stuff. Like, is that what you meant
um
or
not just that, but like the calendar booking, the thank you page, giving it all the right information for there. So like I feel like that's where I'm gonna see most tweaking happening, where like maybe we'll try the calendar page and then see if we can, if it doesn't get a good enough bookings, we can see what we can say on there to increase the bookings. But I think the page, as long as the cost per lead is looking healthy, can mostly stay the same. Um, so that's kind of my goal. So then that way I'm not having to think for every time I launch something for someone, I have to add in all this new information for like a new service.
what percentage of people? So with the lead forms, it's add, opt in, whatever. AI conversation to save some time before somebody calls them, then gets them scheduled in. Yeah. What percentage of people would you say book in without speaking to somebody just through AI?
Well, the AI never pushes to
Oh, okay.
book direct. Now I do have like clients who sometimes text to like they'll take over and they'll text them in. So like I can do rejuvenation. I think they mostly do it through that where they'll actually ask the question, would you like to book in through text or phone call? And then they'll say like text and then they'll book people in. I just don't know what their show up rates are for that. And I feel like anytime I've seen them send the deposit link over and say like, hey, just let us know when you've taken care of it, like I never see like a message back from those. But I do feel like, maybe it can work, but at least from my experience, like, it's probably best to just get them on a phone call
So,
and,
so basically, iCandy is like add lead form ad. They receive a text, hey, do you want to book through call or whatever? They say, I'll do it through text. They send a link to get them booked in. Is that link? I would assume.
no, there's no link. So they say like, oh, through a phone or call for a phone call or a text, they'll say text, be like, great, can you do what time do you have available tomorrow, next day? They'll confirm that time and be like, great. Basically, and to secure a spot, we require a deposit. This is a link, and then they pay through that link. So they pay through the link, but not book the appointment time.
And you're saying that nobody ever does that.
Doesn't seem like maybe I've seen a few people, but they also have like high volume.
What do you think
And
happens? So if somebody doesn't put it down in a deposit, like what happens then? Do they get a
I
phone
don't
call?
know.
They just not like they don't care about that lead or
I don't know. I think the lead, like a lot of the leads probably still show up. Um, I don't know. I kind of have to see like um based on like I guess I'll have to see if I can like filter the messages where maybe it can show all those messages and then see if I can like count them and then see how much show up on like the laser facial like on their booking system. But I don't know. I personally like
if you can find that out, I think it's important because that would further verify like not to do lead forms. Like if
not
you
to do forms or
yeah, not to do lead forms because not to do lead forms instead going to funnels like what you're doing because again, somebody opts in, text them, uh they get booked in, but then if like a small percentage of people are paying a deposit and the ones that aren't paying a deposit are not showing up, that's like just a bunch of dead leads unless the business owner or staff is calling them and saying, hey, you didn't pay a deposit, or like they probably obviously don't do that, but it's like I don't know what's next. Like you get
yeah.
them in, you say, hey, let me know once you got it. What's the follow-up after that? Like it just
Yeah,
seems
maybe yeah, I can ask. Honestly, like, hey, like maybe I'll send a screenshot and be like, send it to the head VA and be like, hey, like if they receive this message and they don't respond, do you guys give them a call after? And then that way I can at least know, like,
yeah, that would be huge. That would be a big thing to so ask conversion rate of what happens after link or deposit is sent. What percentage of people who don't pay deposit show up? What happens to people who don't respond back? Saying, who saying they pay deposit they followed up with or just left red. So that's interesting. Your other clients, whenever again you have a lead form, people opt in, are your other clients then actually calling? Because it sounds like iCandy, they're not calling, they're just texting them.
yeah, I think they're mostly texting. I see a lot of them like texting the leads in. I know Dr. Jennifer, she she did try texting. She used to text a lot more, and then she told me there was like a lot of no-shows. So she started calling them, and she was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like when I actually talk to them, they actually like it helps us build a connection." And like, there's been like 3 times she said that to me, where she's like, "Yeah, you're right about, doing it like this." So, she's been trying to put more effort into calling. So I know she mostly calls now.
Eye candy does
Fat,
not. So
huh?
eye candy does not call. That's so.
I Yeah, they just have like they have so much inbound calls because they have like so many like contacts in their thing that they're mostly busy just like on the phones like with like inbound calls, which is crazy. But if someone does say like, hey, like, can you like I'd prefer call, then they'll call. Um
Where do these inbound calls come? Are they from Google Ads or are they from previous clients that are just like calling back?
I think Google Ads is probably a big one. I'm not sure though, but it seems like Google Ads will probably be a big one. Because I know they spend like that huge budget on Google Ads. And then they do like SMS blasts where it's like call to secure spot and stuff. And then yeah, I don't know. I kind of have to see, but it seems like their go high level is just always like bumping.
It's just like
Um
to me, it's surprising. It's like it sounds like your other clients work so hard to squeeze the juice out of the lemon. They have to follow up the lead. They have to have a conversation. They have to do all these things. Versus these people, they're just like, we're just gonna blast out some ads. We're gonna do the bare minimum. We're gonna text them, and like they're fucking making 500,000 a month. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I also feel like because I did the numbers on the Botox ad, and Botox usually has the highest conversion rates, and he was getting like a 6% actual bookings, like 6 to 9% actual bookings, and my laser facial one was doing like 15 percent. And so I mean 15 is so great through like mostly texting. Again, maybe I just have to ask some more questions, being like, hey, like are you calling them at all to confirm? Maybe because they probably have a front desk who just confirms the appointment before every day. So that could be a thing as well, where they're just like calling the day before and just confirming the appointment. I think Karen does that as well, and her show up rates are pretty good without deposits. Um, I mean, Karen's like definitely killing it with calling, but and she literally said today, like I don't even think it's because I say anything, but she was like, yeah, like I've noticed that if I don't call them within 5 minutes, I like can't get them booked. So, there's that. Let me see. Just 4 booked for that. Also, I crunched the numbers. I
What,
think I updated her numbers.
what were you
Um,
saying? Aman, I'm so sorry. I missed that because I was like typing up a question for you, bro. Like the last thing you just said about Karen.
oh, with yeah, I didn't even like mention this to her, but she was like, yeah, I noticed if I don't call leads within 5 minutes, I lose them. So I'm always very quick to call them. So, you know,
She sounds like a fucking superstar, bro. It's
she
awesome.
is. Yeah, and it's great because like if I go on a call with her, I'm not like anxious or anything because she's like literally just trusts me with like, whatever I tell her to do. So it's like so great. Um, And even like today, I was like, yeah, like, when we build out this page, one thing I'm gonna work on with you is building having a video on the last page so you can, basically like it really primes them for the consultation. You can spend that time like getting rid of like all of their objections ahead of time. It's gonna make like, it's gonna be automated, so it's gonna make things a lot easier for you. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll film that today. I'll send it over. And she's like, I don't have much going on today, so I'm gonna just film it. I was like, okay, I mean, I'll probably have to send some notes and stuff, but if you want to send something over so we can test, and then I can send over like, we'll probably have to create a second video that's gonna be like, and she's like, yeah, that works. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Um, so we're just like discussing like, making sure hitting everyone's pain points, and then she can, I was like, you can send me a 30-minute video if you want, and I can cut it down based on what I see as best. And then, if we do get something to work, then I can just almost like turn that into like a script.
Gotcha. So you're talking about the video once somebody opts in and all, like the video before they show up.
Yeah, like the one that's gonna be on the thank you page.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I mean, after writing my webinar and doing that whole thing, like the script is so crucial, and it's got to be perfect. So, I think what would be good is for me to like work with you and typing that out and making sure it's fine tuned. Like literally the first, it's like a YouTube video, like the first 10 seconds, first 15 are super crucial. Um,
I almost just want to take that first version, not so much like for it to be like the video that works, but more of like, okay, this is like points that I haven't even thought about, about how she's selling it or how she's talking about like specific problems people are bringing up. Maybe there'll be like golden nuggets, and then we can write our script based off what we learned about what she's saying in that video. So that's kind of like the way I was seeing it.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna build up for her. Naida was like basically just she had like lost like a staff member, so we like had her thing on pause because she just couldn't run any ads. But we're like basically like having something running, and then hopefully like in a week or so we're gonna launch that thing back up. Just basically like how I framed it like a while ago, because it was like 2 weeks had passed where she wasn't able to do anything, but the ads were still on and stuff. So I was like, hey, like I'll extend like this month, since like she basically like was on her last leg and was kind of doing like a Hail Mary with me. And then so that's kind of what we're doing now, where I'm just gonna launch it. But I mean, her ad's doing well. I'm gonna change it to a calendar because that was easier for her. And then I'm gonna send her a Loom video about what text to send them, or like, what to text them so that she can get them on the phone beforehand. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm starting to understand things a little bit more clearly. I think once I get on the phone and like start priming them for like the consultation more, I think having those recordings are gonna be really good.
You say you're starting to understand things more clear. What are you talking about specifically?
Like just because like the past like 2 weeks I've been doing this like full time and like doing it every day, and like actually able to like for the first time having access to their booking softwares, being able to do more like SMS blast types, just talking more with like the clients themselves. I think I'm just starting to like feel like I'm actually like learning more, rather than just like spend like an hour a day and then just try to like do the bare minimum. um, so I think I'm just starting to like make more connections or starting to understand more. And then I think as you're kind of like able to see more of the system now, I think that's really helped too with like how you kind of like drew things out and stuff. So I feel like we're getting somewhere, but it's just like a one day at a time sort of thing.
Yeah. What part, I mean, we've been going back and forth like Loom videos and all this stuff. Like what part of like this has been beneficial for you? Just so I know more of like what to lean into that's helping you versus like what's not helping you that I can lean out of. Is there
Um,
helping that is there a particular thing that's jumping out at you that's like, okay, this is being very valuable? Because if so, then I'll lean into that more.
um, I don't know. I guess like one thing that I felt like was very helpful when you talked about the memberships and stuff, like I don't know, I've watched this video so many times, but I feel like when you watched it, you were able to explain it in a way of like why they're doing it, and it made a lot more sense to me. So I think that helped. Where I've watched it, I'm like, wow, like I've been watching this and this is like the real reason why they're able to do it. Or like how you're able to break down the membership with like the high ticket thing. Like she has like an exact service like an IPL, which, basically the first time they have to like, take down the top layer of the skin, and then like, they need the peels and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe I could turn this into a membership, based on that. But I guess like, I may have to like show you or like timestamp that part, because if then I would still have to think about like I don't really know how to structure as a membership. But yeah, I think that was very helpful where you're like just like looking at it, and then you kind of like gave me the metaphors with like yeah, when I talk to a $47, like I have to ascend them up, like I don't know, you just kind of broke it down to like my understanding. So I think that was like very helpful for me.
Yeah, I've noticed like with you, and this is not like this is maybe like I think this comes with like just more experience maybe. But like I've noticed like your language and when you try to explain stuff is like you just like you took a package and you're like, I'm thinking about adding this and adding this and adding this. And in my mind, as I'm like listening, I'm like, but why?
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
what is like the like how does that it just you're just like to me it sounds like we're just kind of putting together a uh um it's like you're taking a plate, you're just putting a bunch of different food items on there, but it's like what if you need savory and sour. You need something and something to complement. It like has to all tie together.
Right.
That's kind of just something I've noticed like with you. And I think that maybe like that helped a little bit of like seeing, there's a logic behind every small little detail. It has to tie together. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what you about that or
A little bit. I mean, as far as that,
like
so with the package, right? If I'm getting someone in for Botox, I know a big part of like what Graydon does is that he explains the different layers of the skin. So when I like explain it to these clients, I kind of try to explain it like, when you bring them in for Botox, if they want the best results, we have to not just get them in multiple times, but we have to hit the different areas of the skin to get a more holistic approach. The only thing is when I create those packages, I kind of model it after packages that like he's shown. So I'm like, okay, he's at appeal, they have appeal, so I'm gonna add that. But I don't know exactly how they work together. And maybe that's kind of where I can, if I knew like, okay, appeal was the top layer of the skin, and in order to get the like lower layer of the skin, we have to do like this type of facial, or you don't have that, so we can do this type of thing. That would be helpful, obviously, but I do like when I say like package, just know I'm not doing like a skin like Botox package for like a semaglutide lead. Like I do know that, if a semaglutide lead, like, okay, what are all the weight loss related things and how can we bundle that up? Um, but um, but yeah, it's still like solo, I don't know with like those things.
yeah. You asked a question about like should you sell packages, should you sell membership, and so we're getting closer and closer, but like here's the thing. I felt I have spidey senses from Graydon's video.
Mhm.
Here's what I mean by that. I don't know. So this is me kind of playing devil's advocate, me kind of just being weary. There's something off about that video.
Which one, the membership?
Here's why. And again, my whole thing is like how effective is that strategy? Because if what he's saying is true, if what Graydon is saying is true, then in my mind, all of our time and energy should be focused on one thing, and that is selling the membership. That is it. No Botox, filler, package, none of it fucking matters. And it got to the point where as I was like envisioning, I was like, you literally need a list of all the members, and beside them, you need to say, are they a member or not? And everybody that's not a member, we are ruthless about getting them on a membership. Nothing else fucking matters. The package doesn't matter, high ticket, nothing. It just get them on that. If what he's saying is true, where they have a 2% churn rate and the average person stays for 40 months, because the numbers don't lie. The part that sketched me out is this. At the very beginning of the video, he says, here's how he did 300,000, whatever my data added. And so in my mind, it's like the way he's positioned it is like, oh, we have this play that we're running. We've ran it thousands, hundreds of times. We have hundreds of customers. This is our bread and butter. That's how he started off the video. But then again, me as a person that creates webinars and VSLs, I catch on these things like very easily. Then throughout, but like, so he starts off really strong. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But then right after that, he goes into, in just the last 30 days, we got these results. That's a big red flag to me. The reason it's a big red flag is if you have been running a play for a year, 2 years, then you don't say in the last 30 days, these are amazing results. You say in the last 30 days, we got these results. And the quarter before we got this, and the year before we got this. So this is consistent across the board over and over and over again. So therefore, I know it's going to work for you as well. He did not say that. He was really flexing the last 30 to 60 days, which leads me to believe it's not a thing that they've been running forever. And the further evidence I have is there's a lady that asked a question. It's like, hey, what about running this offer in the summer? Do you think that? And he's like, and then his dad said, oh, you should be running this offer all the time. I haven't had a single cancellation. And that to me is a big red flag. It's like, if you've been running this for 2, 3 years, of course you have some cancellations. The only reason you wouldn't have a cancellation is if you've been running this for the last 30 to 60 days and it's a brand new thing, and therefore people don't cancel. Does that make sense? So these are like red flags. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if this is like actually like the best practice and best play.
Right.
So if it is the best play, then the advice I have for you is very easy, which is all of our time and energy should be focused on selling memberships, which means if you ask, hey, Koshik, should I sell on SMS blast? Here's how I would be thinking through that. There's one North Star, which means you blast out an offer. For example, you do the monthly, bi-monthly, whatever the stuff we talked about, old active clients, inactive, like all that shit. It doesn't fucking matter. You categorize it however you want to categorize it. So let's say you blast an offer, say, hey, look, Becky, we're doing this semi-glutide thing or Botox thing. And let's say Becky doesn't take it in, she doesn't go in. Okay, well, I don't give a fuck whether she says yes or no to that. My previous mind said, yes, I care, but my new mind doesn't care, assuming great instinct is true. Because let's say she doesn't respond to that, then I'll hit her up with like, hey, Becky, saw that you were, hey, Becky, don't know if you, hey, Becky, didn't hear back from our last offer. We got this free thing. Would you like that instead? Why? Because they respond to it. I send them a link. They go into a funnel. They get the membership. All I care about the membership. Does that make sense? That's how my brain is working.
Yeah. Yeah, the way I was seeing it was like, and yeah, when I look at his SMS blast, like, he shows like examples of like what the packages, and they're like the high ticket packages for the SMS blast. I guess yeah, that part of your point is like it doesn't matter whether they take that up or not. It's just the membership after.
Your mind is like, I don't care how I have to finagle. I don't care what I have to do. That's the main thing I'm selling. That's where, again, that's if what he's saying is true. That's how you have to that's how you have to be thinking about everything. If what he's saying is true. That's like me. Like, I don't care about who purchased 7 days via market. I don't care if they purchased in a market. I don't care what the fuck they purchased. All I care about is who is qualified for the coaching program, and I want to get them in here.
Mm.
I don't care. Like I don't give a shit about anything other than that. Same thing. You
Okay.
should care about anything other than that membership if what he's saying is true. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay, I see.
The purpose of that gets them in, the purpose of nothing matters. I mean, it all matters, but the ultimate, that's your North Star.
Okay. Um, so yeah, I guess like where do you like from my clients, right? I'm obviously trying to get them people in. I'm trying to get them for the high ticket thing. Like ultimately, should my SOP be like I build out a membership with them first and then work backwards, or do you think show them that I can get people through the door and then or like always like when I get them started, like build a high ticket thing with them, have the membership in place, and then regardless, everyone get pushed towards the membership or something.
Like right now, like the way you're kind of positioned, again, this is illuminating for me. It's like your whole thing is like, hey, Mr. and Miss Business Owner, a lot of these agencies, they're trying to okay, here's a logic. Hey, Mr. Business Owner, I know you want to sell like this luxurious thing for like 2 grand. But in my experience, if you try to sell this luxurious thing for 1, 2 grand, your cost per acquisition is through the roof. What you have to do is you have to focus on bringing people in the door for as cheap as possible. And that gives us as many opportunities to sell a package. So what you're doing is you're thinking counterintuitive. Now what I'm saying is now there's another layer above it. Now what you say is, hey, Mr. and Miss Business Owner, here's a presentation. And this is on your onboarding. This is when they actually start working with you, even a little bit on your sales call. Is, hey, look, Mr. Business Owner, a lot of agencies, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you in. You might be thinking sell high ticket package. Well, here's what you have to do, or here's what other agencies are doing. The money is actually made in the membership in our experience. This is why everybody's so profitable. Here's why. The average churn rate, if you get somebody in for $99 a month, the average churn rate is this. This is Netflix churn rate. The average client is worth 4 grand. Right now, if you try to sell a 2 grand thing, you might sell them for 2 grand, then that's it. You're done with them. This, every single client on average worth 4 grand. Imagine every single customer through your door being worth 4 grand. All of our time and energy, we're ruthless about selling this one thing. This is where the money. So again, you have to use logic and numbers to show them that.
Right.
You educate them, and then you get them hooked on like, okay, this is the North Star. And then you show them. So once they believe this is North Star, just like I'm doing too, like I can see your eyes kind of lighting up. You're like, that actually makes sense. The North Star. It's you're thinking things differently. So like if you can get them to believe that's their North Star, then a lot of your education on your onboarding, everything is like about just that. It's like, hey, this is the vision. Everything that we're doing, we can break even, we can be at a loss. It doesn't fucking matter. We're just trying to get here. It's like me. I'll sell my course for like I'll have a client acquisition cost of $300. I don't care if I have a client acquisition of $300 to sell a $47 thing because I'm selling my other thing. That's my North Star.
Right.
So everything is about that. And so then this becomes your core thing. It's like, hey, you have to and done the right way. It's like Hormozy or myself or whatever. It's like you're showing me, hey, it's $99 a month, and here's exactly how the membership works. Everybody's running the exact same membership play. And you're like,
Yeah.
exactly how the membership play, and then you're showing them like, here's how we sell it. We sell it through this SMS. We sell it this way. We sell on the walkout. We sell it everywhere because this is the North Star.
Got it.
But
I
again,
almost, I don't know, it's like a weird way of thinking it, but I don't like, it almost feels like, you know how like the cold ad is like for those who are interested, and then the retargeting is like where it hits them everywhere. I almost kind of see that with like the membership where it's like, you have the high ticket thing where, and then maybe they're interested, but regardless, they came in, they showed somewhat interest, and then we just hit them everywhere with the membership.
there you go. Boom. That's it. That's the logic.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that's where that.
again, that's only if Graydon is not a piece of shit lying to us. It depends on that. And
Yeah,
I
I
got
mean, I know a lot of businesses that, or sorry, a lot of med spas that do the membership. And like, when I was asking like one of my friends, she was like, yeah, like I almost did one where it was like $100 a month for a facial, and you get a facial, you get like percentage of products instead of like 150 or 120 for the facial, you get for $99. And she was like, yeah, it's very convenient. They have like new specials every month, or for those who are memberships. And I think she was also kind of explaining like yeah, like they sent me like an email that was like, hey, do you want free derma planning? And then they basically just like for those who are members, so it's like I think yeah, I think it's kind of like a cold ad retargeting ad. It's like we get them hooked with like the first time offer, see if we can sell them on a package, but we're just retargeting and hitting them. I mean, if that's the case, like one, I'm surprised I haven't heard more like agencies talk about that. Even like the people on the phone with, they're not
you
like
wouldn't
saying like,
this isn't something you know unless you're like in like the field, I think.
"Mm,
Like you have to be actual medical spa. You have to have all the books, all the numbers. This is why I've talked about like, hey, when somebody buys, like track all their numbers, all the different things they buy, and like it's a numbers game to like this is not something an agency is gonna know. I the only reason like it's very common sense to me after I watched that video, or else I would have never assumed this.
yeah, and what was I gonna say for that? Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the thing where every med spa is maybe different, but if I have like maybe like three core offers like facial, Botox, something else where it's like the core membership thing, then they can choose which one people are gonna most gravitate towards. Like eye candy rejuvenation, they get so many people who come in for Botox, but then they have to keep doing the same promo to get people in for Botox. And so I'm like, okay, we just need to do the membership because people love the Botox. And rather than giving it $8 multiple times to someone, they can just do it one time, and then we can have basically what I saw another med spa do was $100 a month. And they can get as many like $8 units as they want, plus 10% off skincare products, plus there's like a new free thing every month. And so and then especially if we can get them like hey, if you sign up, everyone signs up and gets a free laser facial or something. That's the hook that we can use to get them in. But maybe we can start thinking about like one, what like coming out with the right, because he showed like a full like copy, he showed a full sales letter for that. Um, which is really cool. I wish I could like see that, but and like have like a page where maybe they could just sign up for it like on a website too. I don't know. I haven't looked that much into it, but it is really cool.
If it's my thing is just, is it true? If it's true, then I can see how we can, I think it's figure outable, but we have to have some kind of a system to templatize things so that all your clients, um, all of your clients are doing the same thing. Because, like, for example, inside the workshop, what did I explain? I did it for a reason. Hey, 5 grand for your main video, X number of dollars for constantly coming in, X number of dollars for your service fee, X number of dollars for whatever. And so whether somebody charges 5 grand, 4 grand, 2 grand for the main video, it's kind of like a template for people. And so we have to have some kind of a template for this membership stuff. That it's another thing in terms of operational Dragon systems. Once we,
Right.
step one is it true or not? Step two is if it is, then we have to figure out some kind of a template for that. Step three is educate everybody and get them fully bought in on that's their North Star. The next step in the process, now you do all your offers, SMS, everything to ultimately focus on that and somehow track the data.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I'll see what I can do to kind of get more information on that. There was another video I watched that maybe I could send over. It was like 3 different med spas explaining their memberships. So maybe they kind of go into a little bit more about like the benefit of it, but so I'll find that video and send it. Um, and yeah, I know like the only other thing I can think of other than all this is remember I told you my boss, the owner of the company, was like hitting me up for the med spa thing. He's like, yeah, I want to do this med spa. He may be able to do like a 6 month lease somewhere where they can like possibly just try it out for 6 months and get a doctor and all that kind of in place. I think that'd be kind of cool to like try to like, like almost be like in the med spa and like try to understand the numbers better and stuff. Um, but I don't know. We'll see how.
He's going to dish out hundreds of thousands of dollars on medical equipment.
Yeah, well, he wants to get like one main machine that can do like a lot of things, and then have someone that can do like Botox. But I mean, he's definitely like if you see like the company that I worked at, like they would just buy these expensive ass machines to do printing, and they're like, yeah, like we want to work and stuff. And I don't know how he does it, but yeah, they spend so much on like building out like the perfect like manufacturing thing, and then basically like they have a whole company now where they just like have clients they fulfill for and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. But hey, I'll if he wants to do it, I'm down to help.
That's a good opportunity for sure. I'd be, I think it'd give us good practice.
Yeah.
What else is brewing your head, bro?
I think that's mainly it. I think after I kind of get on a few weeks of like phone calls, I think what would be nice is maybe try to better like train people for the consultation. I feel like that's so hard to like just get someone to agree to follow the script for like a consultation. It's just kind of like maybe I have to do it myself and provide training, or like I think that's probably it. Like it's hard to explain things, but I'm sure if they saw like a visual, like, you know,
How
maybe.
many how many calls have you like done so far?
Well, for the actual calls, I haven't actually like because either I had to she would take them on like the few times I did try to call them, they like were like, hey, can you call back at a later time? But then like I,
You
I
said,
was
yeah, I know. I didn't know if you had any conversations, actual conversation with him. That's all.
oh,
Um,
okay, yeah. But but yeah, I think I will soon now that I can just get this new thing launched, and then those leads will technically be mine. And I could probably book out some time like, you know, in the mornings and evenings, California time. And this way it's like, okay, I can expect those times to be blocked and potentially get people on even sooner. But
yeah,
yeah, we'll take it from I don't have to think past that right now.
yeah. If we like just fundamentally again, I talk a lot about like the delta between cost per acquisition and then lifetime value. And so what we want to do is we want to like decrease as much as possible. If you just think about like fundamentally what the membership does, like what are we doing? That's all we're doing.
Um,
So it's interesting. I don't know.
yeah.
I think this is it. Like that's my brain always goes to that. It's like every business I'm looking at, how do I just figure out how to do that with us, the coaching and then the partnership? How do I incrementally increase that all the time? There's always ways that you can increase LTV. You just got to think about it. There's
Yeah.
something.
The thing with the med spa is that um like for Graydon, right? So he has this membership that's like for the skin thing. But like what if for I assume not everyone's gonna care about that machine or that specific problem, right? Because there's in Med Spas there's like multiple different things that have solves different problems like body contouring, right? So like, I mean I'm sure like you can get enough where it's like 20% of all patients, so it's still a big thing. Like it's still like the way they front is like it covers your overhead, it covers your staff, and from there, everything else is profit. So maybe that's just how they see it, where it's like, okay, how can we just get as many people on it? And then, everything we do is going to be, you don't ever have to worry about overhead costs again.
So I guess what is your question? Is your question more about like how do I sell it? How do I position it? Or like what's kind of like what's bringing
Well, I guess like because when you said like the list of all the people and then do they have an M next to their name and getting, I think like I got in the mindset of like okay we should try to do everything we can to get everyone on it, but obviously not everyone's gonna be um you know needs that problem. So I was just thinking like oh are there gonna be med spas that have like different kinds of memberships like the semaglutide or the member, and then does that cause too much complication? Like it seems like it'd probably be best to have like one membership.
so I'm wondering is like all I know um like I don't know if this adds more complexity, but like you know, you have an ad or whatever, like whatever you have, like whatever the shit is, doesn't matter. But then the core membership, it like this part up here is what is customized, but then the rest of this is the same. And so this is like a semi-glutide package. And then you have something for Botox. And again, all of it is just here. And then this part is customized a little bit. And then all of this is the same. And so we just have like fucking, I don't know. I'm not saying this is a good idea. It could be a terrible idea. But it's like you have like 10 different packages and you just make this shit up. You just make these things up. It doesn't even matter. You just make them up. All that matters is $99 a month. That
Right.
matters.
Oh, right, right.
And so it's like all the effort, it doesn't matter. All this shit doesn't matter. It's just, can I just get people $99 a month? That's all I care about.
Right.
And so this is what I meant is like, can we create some kind of a system where it's like in education? It's like, hey, look, here's what you do. I know you have a package in your spa right now. It doesn't really matter. You create these, we do is we create these every single month to give you as many opportunity to get people $99 a month. I don't know. I don't know if this is a solution. Like we're thinking really outside the box here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if we're thinking about like someone's interested in something and then we say, hey, you're interested in this, like, and then just keep hitting them with that thing, then maybe we can almost keep track of like, okay, these are the Botox leads, these are all the people who bought Botox. Maybe we can like have a list of those patients and we send them a whole like thing of like a Botox membership. And then for those who are into weight loss, we can almost like, maybe they can have three different memberships, and we just like email and phone almost based off like, what they purchased in the past or what they are interested in, those sort of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think right now I just need to focus on getting on calls. None of this matters until I understand I can dial in the scripts better.
It's a good north light though. Like it gives me
Yeah.
again, assuming this is right, big fat if. It's nice to just have like a north star to focus on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what else is
I think that's it for me, right now.
um okay. Well, I'm gonna switch over to Cam then. If you have more questions or anything like that.
Cool. That's good.
Mr. Cam, have we scared you away on your first call?
No, I mean it's going over my head. I'm kind of just sitting here cross-eyed a little bit, but it's interesting. I don't know what's interesting, but it's interesting.
Yeah, we're me and Aman are in a place. So Aman's like niche down for like 6 months now. And
Right.
what we're trying to do is we're just trying to figure out service delivery. So this kind of goes back to what Aman told you and Rodarte told you is like, hey, just like do the thing and figure out the like service delivery later. Focus on
Right.
one thing at a time. So you know, Almond's in a place where he's figured out how to sell. He's not, I don't think Almond's worried about like getting his calendar book, closing deals. He just has to ramp up ad spend. But what he's focused on right now is like, how do I ethically, you know, how can I ethically sell the crap out of people because my stuff is so good. And so now we're just like trying to figure out how to be as good as we possibly can be, to the point where like they shouldn't work with any other agency but him.
Right.
And so that's where like a lot of the micro granular details are. But that's a long time away for you.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a year away, but some of the stuff that you guys were talking about kind of got me thinking, even though I haven't even really, I've literally haven't touched, like I just got back from backpacking yesterday. But in terms of niching down, a potential one that I could see being really good for like lifetime value would be furnace cleaning in particular, not HVAC in general, but hone in on furnace cleaning. Because there are just furnace cleaning companies and that's it, or there's HVAC with furnace cleaning, like they also do installs. But since I was a furnace cleaner, I kind of had that advantage, and I was like, I love sales, so I know the potential of how you can bring like a $200 bill to like a $1,500 bill, and both parties are happy. And even when I was working for my parents, I thought in my own mind, it didn't really get past my thoughts, but making like a video course to give to people when I'm gone even. So if they want to learn how to sell a bathroom fan or this, because there's like a full on system as to how I sell a person every time I go in the home, from like the introduction, like stand 45 degrees at them to the door because it's not threatening. Like there's so many tiny things. Um, then you go around the house and take pictures, and then you go up to the customer and then you say, here's what your stuff's looking like. And they usually go, holy shit, that's my house or whatever. And then from there, you have all the leverage, because after they see how dirty it is, you say why that's bad and what you have seen. You never say what's going to happen. You say what could happen and what you've seen in the past. And your house is even older than the ones that I've seen have broken. So you're getting lucky. There's just so many things you can do to show them pain points of things in their house that they didn't even know existed before you got them. And I could just see that being like super valuable to like have a subscription or whatever, however I do it. If I made a course to give a furnace cleaning company, aside from me marketing their company and getting them leads, once I get the leads and get their staff of the business owner into their house, I can teach the staff how to bump up the bill like 10 times from what they're used to. You're already in the house, and the best part is it takes like a millisecond. You're already in the bathroom doing the bathroom vent. Just go up and do the bathroom fan, and you just added another $100 to the bill. Like it's literally like that much money that you would charge for those. And it takes so little time. Like there's just so much room and money that's left on the table in that industry. It's disgusting.
I didn't know that furnace was like a specific industry in itself. Like there's
Yeah,
a,
it's like you can buy a furnace cleaning truck, and now you have a furnace cleaning company. That's kind of, they're their own vessels.
how many would you say there are like in the United States, if you had to guess?
Oh God, I have no idea. Like I said, I'm in Canada and I don't even know Canada, but just in Edmonton, we have like probably a population of 2 million, I'd say. There's so many.
Would
I
you
don't
say
know.
there's 10,000, 20,000 of these business owners?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's like that's really good.
It's like HVAC, like installs and AC and stuff. It's not. I know that it's not really the point of like it doesn't interest me. It's not. That's not how it works. It's like whatever's profitable or whatever the system is. But in terms of being passionate about it, I know what I can do in terms of
whatever you can squeeze the most profit out of, like that's what you want to do.
I
Like
think
because
that's the only thing.
yeah, so like it's like if you can help an HVAC business owner add, you know, $10,000 a month profit, well then you can charge up to like 5 grand, 4 grand a month. But if you can help a furnace company bring in 20, 30 grand with all of your cheat codes, well then now you can charge 5 grand a month. Right. So
Right.
it depends on how much money you're bringing in. So if you're saying like this is where the money is, and you know earlier you said, hey, look, this is like the lowest cost to service, and there's a ton of upside. Like I think you got something that you need to you should we can certainly revisit. I think it's great that you're thinking that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like it's pretty interesting, just like the marketing side, but aside from the marketing side, I almost see like a service alone being me teaching the staff how to change the bill from $200 to like 2,000. Like I've seen it happen. I've done it multiple times. Like my paycheck was like 3 times the next guy that did the same job as me at that company just because they didn't like selling. It wasn't ethical. But in my mind, I'm like, you had no idea your bathroom fan could break, and I'm telling you what could happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. And then you say yes or no. It's not like I'm standing over you with a gun. It's literally like, here's what I found in your house. This is what I've seen that could happen. We can do it right now, and it wouldn't take that much longer. Would you like us to do that? This is how much it would cost.
Let's say people had an existing customer base of, I don't know, 100 people, furnace or whatever. Do you know of a way that you could go in there and just charge them a bunch of stuff? Like, so here's what I mean by that. This is like what we kind of like call a reactivation campaign. So instead of running paid ads, like, can you take an existing customer? This is what I'm asking. You have an existing customer, 100 people. Is there a way for you to like make money from that? Do you know of a way?
Are you talking about ads?
No, like let's say you're a furnace company.
Yeah.
You, let's say you got 100 emails, 100
Oh,
customers.
okay, okay.
And I told you, hey, you can't run a single ad, you can't call anyone, you can't do shit to make money. You have these golden handcuffs. You have to use this email list to this customer list to make $100,000 over the next 3 months, or you die. Could you do it?
I think I could. Yeah, I think, yeah, because for me in the furnace game business, like you sell them something that's crazy good to get inside the house, literally. And then once you're inside the house, it's like, by the way, like our tools are way more capable of just doing this one thing that you're paying for us to do. Would you mind if like I took a look? Because I've seen this. So that's
So
probably how.
here's is you would basically go through your email list, your customer list. Hey, John Doe, you text them an offer, or you call them, whatever. Hey, John Doe, we have this amazing this typically, $500 we're giving away for literally like 40 bucks. You want it? They say, yeah, great. You get your foot in through the door and then you upsell them a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Hold on to that. Hold on to that.
yeah.
Yeah. Because the reason I brought all this stuff up is this is what I did. Do you know Alex Ramosi?
Yeah, I mean, like I see his ads, so I know of him for sure.
So if what you're saying is true, then you can do what he did, which is help you can help furnace business owners and you can charge them a ridiculous amount. You charge like 10 grand, 15, 16 grand to do a reactivation campaign where you're helping them make money without spending a dollar on paid ads. And then once they've made like 20 bands and like really at a really fast like 20, 30, 50 bands or whatever at a very short time period, then you sell them on the 3K a month, the 5K a month on the back end. And
Right.
that's paid ads.
Okay, okay. Okay. And then in doing that in my mind right now, anyways, I'd love for you to add on to it, but it would be almost like because I can do the texting campaign. If it was like I could duplicate my bodies and throw myself and their staff, that's how I would know I would be able to make the 10K. Because once I'm in the house for the $20 bill, that's why I'm there. It's easy for me. I know how to work a customer and get to the things that I can upsell them on and acknowledge them on what could happen. And just a little bit of urgency in their mind of danger that could potentially happen, like dryer fires and stuff. Um, but if it's raw staff and I don't know anything about this, I've talked to the business owner. I could do all that stuff. We get in their house to do a $40 thing, but then it's almost like I would need to do a Zoom call with their team, like in the mornings or something, just to train them and kind of do some role playing and like, what do you do if you get into a house? Because that's the only way that I could see that really being really valuable.
So the way you do it is the idea that you have for the course or whatever, you provide the course as a bare minimum. You don't charge for the course.
Okay.
Because if they don't make money, you don't make money. You do everything in your power. You make it as easy as possible for them to make money.
Right.
So you don't withhold the course. The course is a mandatory for you to make money. So what you would do is you basically, that's why I'm asking you to maybe sleep on this, starting today is like figure out, okay, what are the plays? Like, okay, here's what you do, here's what you blast them off, or you say this, and then they say, yeah, and then you go into the establishment, you charge 40 bucks, and here's why you charge 40 bucks, you're gonna make money on the back end. Okay, now once you're here, make sure you stay at a 45 angle. Then they're gonna say this, here's what you do, you go in, and here are the 5 locations you want to check because here's the 5 ways that you can make money. The vent, and here, and here, and here, and here. And typically what you want to charge is this amount. So you're giving them all this course material so that they can make money with your stuff.
Right, right.
And you can do the, consultation. You can do like these kinds of calls I'm doing with you right now. You can do them like prior to them launching, for example, like a launch call or a weekly call or whatever you want to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Good stuff, man. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it gets me excited just because I've been in that world and I see the potential. So if I could create a service using that, then that'd be huge. And I also just love teaching people how to sell stuff when they're walking in and out with like the same amount of money. That's just pennies to the dollar. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, no, that's the secret sauce, man. Most people just don't know how to squeeze more juice out of lemon. Sounds like you do. Cam, what else you got for us, man, that you want to go over?
Nothing. I literally haven't started. Like I said, I got back yesterday, so I just got back in time to make this call. I think just follow the links at the bottom of the onboarding sheet. I'm not sure if that's the real name for it, but follow the links and go from there unless you have anything else that you think would be helpful.
No, just get the ads launched, man, and the sooner you close the deal, the sooner you can start kind of doing the stuff that Elman's doing. We can talk about weird stuff and get in the trenches
Right.
on details. So yeah, nothing else, man.
Yeah, cool. So just close the deal and then let the chaos unfold in voice memos for you.
Yeah, just focus on closing, just focus on launching the ads, close the deal so that we can focus on like the real stuff.
Sounds good.
Cool. If there's nothing, is there anything else before I move on to Jorge and start answering his questions?
No, I don't think so.
How are you feeling overall? You feeling good?
Good. Yeah, I just gotta start.
Okay.
Yeah. The summer vacation's over, so it's time to work. I kind of told my girlfriend that I was like, I'll see you on weekends, but like weekdays, it's just I'm just gonna get sweaty in the office here.
That's fair. Good man.
Good.
Jorge, what's going on, bro?
Yo, hey, what's up, guys?
Chilling.
Is my AC too loud? I can turn it off.
I
I
can't
can't.
hear. No.
Anyways, yeah, no, it's good. Just checking in. I didn't think I'd be able to make the call, but here I am. Good to see you guys. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, Cam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Yeah, just checking in on what's going on. What were you saying?
no, I was saying like Cam's brand new, he just joined. He's a smart dude, very hungry, young guy. His parents own an HVAC company, and we're just kind of chopping up about some things that we could do based off of like his learnings. Cam, Jorge's his background is in jujitsu. He loves jujitsu, and that's like the niche that he went into.
Nice.
Well, but yeah, Jorge, what's going on, man? Any like questions that you had top of mind, or just kind of like a check-in?
No initial questions. It's more of a check-in and kind of saying what to go from there. I do have some weird findings that from the past week or so. Um, as far as the discovery calls, the good news is that that new ad set that we duplicated using the new testimonials, those have been performing pretty well. Like I've been actually getting a lot of booked discovery calls very cheap. It's like $30 per call.
Nice. This is a top
Yeah,
of or middle funnel.
this is top of funnel.
Top of funnel, and this is after we took those winning testimonial ads and threw them in there.
Yeah, correct.
And are they coming from like if you look specifically, are they specifically coming from like those ads, or are they coming from your talking head ad?
So that's what I was looking at right now. And I might have miscalculated. That's why I guess that was my real question because on my text, like, you know how you get notifications on your text, like, hey, this person just booked a call. So it was just popping up that I was getting booked discovery calls, but it didn't say from which location. I mean, from like which ad set, sorry. So I don't know if it came from top of funnel or middle funnel, but I do know on here on my sheet right here at my ad manager, I have 3 website leads and then 8 middle funnel leads. So I'm guessing some of them came from the middle funnel leads. But the thing with that is I had 7 booked discovery calls in total,
Okay.
but 6 of them, they were all people that booked a call before. Like 2 of them duplicated. Have it here. Hold on. Yeah, so 6 of the 7 were repeated book leads. 2 leads booked twice before, and then one was an old lead that booked a while ago, and then same thing with the other one. Only there was only one unique new lead that booked a call.
And that's from top of funnel or middle funnel, or you don't know?
That I do not know.
Hmm. They're probably from top of funnel in the past, and they probably book from middle of funnel, and they're probably from like the past.
There's got to be a simple way for me to go check that, right? Like see exactly where it came from.
The only way you have to you have to use third-party tracking software, like Hyros. There might be other ways. I don't know of other ways.
Well, on Facebook leads, hold on. 'Cause I think you can just download them from Facebook. Yeah,
You can
yeah, I can.
download if it's lead form ads, you can just download and it'll tell you. But that's not going to funnel, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So then I'm gonna download the ones that I did get. That way I could see at least like I could match the names to see who was who and where it came from.
Yeah, look into Triple Whale.
Triple whale.
It's a software that'll allow you to like track your data better.
Okay.
I don't think you need it
Yeah,
right now.
but
If you need it right now, but that
right,
is something that you're asking about of like knowing what lead is coming from what ad set.
yeah, right off the bat, I'm saying that at least one of the book discovery calls that was unique came from the middle funnel.
How do you know that?
I just went in and I checked the ad, the downloaded lead. I checked the name and then I cross-referenced with the discovery calls on my text.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then
That's good news. What else is going on?
yeah, so only one of them has been coming out of all the middle funnel ads. Only one of them led into a booked call.
It's not a bad
That's it.
thing, but it's not a bad thing because like that's the purpose of the middle funnel is to like bombard people again and be top of mind for them.
Mhm.
So it's honestly a bad thing.
Okay. Yeah, that was I've never experienced that before. Like the same like 2, 3 people booked before, and then I had a conversation with them. Basically, they were unqualified, right? Like one of them was like an old lead. He thought he had more money, and then we went over price again. He's like, I don't have enough money. Okay, but he wasn't qualified to begin with. He only had 4 students.
When
But
you talk
the
about
good news
people
is that
when you talk about people being unqualified because of finances, are you like just looking at like how much money they like how are you determining that by the way?
so they can't afford the. I'm not sure this is the right way, wrong way, but my thought process is that they can't afford the marketing budget, but also they have like they're barely starting out and like they don't really have again online presence.
Hmm.
And I compare that to like my clients that do have everything else, and like those are the ones that have are getting the most results.
I think that you so I don't I mean I could be wrong about this. Maybe like some agencies view it that way. Like for example, I'm sure Aman kind of views it as like who's got the money and he doesn't really focus on finances or anything like that, financing. But like damn near everybody inside of our coaching program when they start, they're financing it. They're putting on a credit card, they're doing something. Damn near nobody's taking money from their checking account and paying for the coaching program. So I think that's where, working on your sales, upping your sales game and nurturing and all that stuff is important because if somebody truly believes that you can help them, well, they're going to go ahead and like, again, if you think about like starting a business, right? How do they start a business? They have to like invest in all this equipment, all this stuff. They have to get a business loan, right? You're a business investment, right? So I wouldn't necessarily say
Yeah,
he has money or not. It's whether they have the ability, not willingness, the ability to spend money with you. And you can get them to put it on a card.
that makes sense too. Yeah. Then I think
somebody's
And that
unqualified.
being said, I'll go back to it.
Yeah. Somebody's unqualified if they literally don't, one, have the ability, and two, you can't get them results. Those two factors together make somebody unqualified.
Okay. So then at that point, it's more working on my sales skills to get them to the point where they're able to believe in me so bad that they need to get that financing.
Exactly. Because if somebody goes in and they put, 5K on a card to work with you, and then you make them, 15K, like, so what? Like, that's the whole point of it.
Mhm. Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know then. That's literally just a mindset shift.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What is Hormozy charges, like, what, 40 bands, right? What gym owner has 40 bands? They're financing that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So moving forward, I wouldn't be writing people off just because of that.
Okay. So then I'll push to get on the sales call then from there. I'm gonna watch that value drop thing you just put today too. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I saw I was working on the sales script and the process.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, cool. What else? You were saying something before I asked you some questions. You were going on about something.
I can't recall right now.
Anything else brewing in your head that you want to go over then?
No, I mean just leave everything running as is right now. As far as like the middle funnel, you said just leave that as an evergreen, right? And then the new ad set for the top of funnel, just let that run too, since it's still generating good results for way cheaper cost.
Yeah, let's let it rip, and just touch base with me, right? Just like touch base with me, make it maybe, like every 3 days, maybe let's see if we can increase ad spend, because that's your bottleneck right now. Your bottleneck is just increasing ad spend so you get more calls. But then now another bottleneck I just learned of is like push more people to sales calls now. If I'm you, maybe that's, something you could be doing that you haven't been doing, is like push as many people as possible to a sales call. And yeah, I think I think actually most people are qualified that you have conversation with. These people they have the ability to get the funds. They have probably good credit score. They could probably finance it. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'll do that then.
cool. Um, what else, bro?
Nothing significant. I'm supposed to have a meeting with Adam this Thursday about his funnel. I'm not sure what he wanted to meet about, but he's like, hey, he bought like a microphone and like he's recording all this content for himself. So he's taking it more serious. So I'm assuming he's like gonna be like, hey, look, what's our next move? Let's do this.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's definitely still there.
Good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else?
No, I mean, no significant changes. I mean, nothing crazy.
Good. So all good news then. Cool. Um, cool. If that's it, then man, like, anybody else have anything that they want to go over? Unless Jorge, do you have anything else you want to go over?
No, that's it.
No. Cam, Aman, anything you guys want to go over?
Nope. I can't think of anything.
Aman? Cool. All right. Well, then I'll see you hooligans here next week then.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, I appreciate it. Good meeting you guys.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.